G'day and welcome to another tree styler video. This is part 2 for the series for the olive that I purchased online, and it was freighted, sent, packed to me. Not in that order, of course. Anyway, if you haven't seen part 1, head to my channel, to the playlist. That way you'll see exactly how far this tree has come and all the other trees on my channel. Just a reminder, this is part 2. Now, it's in this pot, it's just settled now. I'm just looking at the branching of the tree. Got a big wound here. Gonna have to address that at some point. Now, thereabouts, I'm looking down at probably a 45-degree angle because it is a big tree. I'm looking at, first of all, this little bunch of clumps here. Now, I'm not going to need that many. If I decide to keep the branch, I'll probably want to keep this one. Just clean him up a little bit. So that cleans up that area. This one, operating as that as my front. Now, this branch is very low. I'll keep that one just in case. Now, I'm looking up further in the tree. Next is here. Now, if that remains the front, which I think it will, I've got an option here of keeping this bigger one or keeping this one here. So what I'm going to do at the moment is just keep both of them and then make a decision further down the track. So this one, it's coming kind of forwards, but with a bit of wire, it can be taken to the side just there. Now this one is in a good spot. However, it's going slightly backwards, but the same, with a bit of wire, it can be brought forward. Options there, I'm just going to keep both of them. I'm not needing these two. Further at the back of the tree, that's the original really low branch. I'm not 100% sure whether I'm going to develop it that low or make the tree higher. Got some branches here, definitely don't need that little stub. Let me just have a quick look back at the front. Can't see any of those branches whatsoever. And I'm looking at, this is my main rear branch that I'm going to work with. Might just keep one of these just to develop. That way it'll give me some options down the track. Pretty busted up bit of branching there. As you can see, can't see any of that from the front. I'm trying to picture the tree 5 years in 10 years time. Back to the back, let me adjust my little woo. So I'm halfway up the tree, that's that side branch. I've got a stub here, don't need. And this is the main back branch that'll add depth to the tree. I'm going to let that continue to grow out. As you can see here, a bit windy, so you can't see it, but if I turn it, there you go, you can just start to see that rear branch. All right, moving up higher, camera adjusted. I've got this clump here. First thing I'm going to do, I'm always thinking, let's get rid of what I don't need, which is that. And slowly the tree here as well. Let me just double check. You can see what I'm doing. Yes. That one there is not required. Neither is that. Neither is this one. So that cleans that up a little bit. Moving also here, next to that rear branch. Now I want all the energy to go into this one. So this clump at the front. I'm looking at preferred viewing angle right now. So I need to decide what I want. I want slightly upwards in the branching. So that and I don't want branches coming back across the trunk. That gets rid of that one. Let's remove that downward facing one. Here's another downward facing one. And I've got in the fork here. There is this here. That would not be suitable. I think I'm going to go this. I'm trying to avoid scars, but hang on. Got that big monster down there. Trying not to create more scars. I've got this branch here. This one's going to grow back upon itself. So I might get rid of that. I wonder whether this will clean up. Oh, no. Let's get a big boy tool onto that one. Now, this one can be adjusted with wire coming forward. I've got a scar here there anyway, which is right to the front. What I'll do is, for the moment, I'm going to develop not that one and not that one there. I'm going to develop this branch and this one. That one can be wired up at some stage. It is facing kind of downwards. Ideally, this one's already growing in a better position. Let me just try. No, hang on. Got a bigger set of loppers which might do the job. The little ones, they're only a cheap pair. I don't want to put too much pressure on them. Let's see how this cuts. Oh, much better. Oh yeah, bit more leverage on this, rather as opposed to that. Okay, how is that looking? Oh, much better. Just chunk it a little bit. I like movement. I like movement in trees. I think you'll agree once I do this. Oh goodness! Oh goodness! Whoop. Hang on. Sorry about that. Okay. So now, even though there is another scar, I've got this nice branch now coming up. Bang, bang, movement. Much better than the straighty 180. I'll let that develop now into that spot there. I might, however, just clean up because their big loppers kind of crushed it. There we go. Bit more better. Yeah. All right, moving up the tree. Now, I've got an issue with the height of this tree because I've got this part of the trunk is moving. Sorry, the middle part of the trunk, which I can't show you. Hang on. Let's go zoom. All right, so we've got the base coming up from there. Comes up, and then this, it's hard to tell on camera, but this part angles slightly towards me. That's that first branch cut. Sorry, it's not the first, that's the first. Got the option there of these two moving up. Now this part is very straight and it moves back away from me and then curves slightly forward. I'll turn it sideways so you can see. That probably makes it a bit better. So from here it angles away from me and it's quite straight. Like that is probably 35 centimeters or just over a foot, and very straightish. Now I don't like straight, I don't like ordinary. I like interesting and movement. Not everyone's into it, but I am. Okay, so the decision I think I will make is I'm going to make a cut here somewhere. Take off this bulk. There's a lot going on up there. And I think I'm going to use this as my branch coming up. I could take it there. There's a couple of options. I could go here or I can go here. Now this angled cut, if I do it that way, will suit the tree much better because now it'll come up and then come back towards me. It'll get rid of all that mess up the top. It's good for growing roots, but it's just out of control. Look at that. So that's the plan in the future. So in the meantime, I'm going to develop this as my new leader. Let's work with that. So new leader here. I'm not going to need all these top branches at this stage. I'm just going to clear out around. I want to still leave those top ones to develop more roots because I've just repotted this, but I want to clearly see where the top of my tree is. Let's get rid of that, and this will probably show it a lot better now. So here, this will now be the top of my tree. Welcome back. It's been about that long since I've updated this olive, purchased online, freighted to me. She's a large tree. Let me put some tools in there for scale. My little rake, my hand. Spin, zoom. Look at that base flaring out. It's in a fairly shallow pot now. Fairly shallow. Got that dirty big cut mark. Chainsaw, I'm guessing. Paul did the collection on it, not me, another Paul. Back around towards the front, I'm looking at somewhere near there, looking at the best, widest space with the most movement and taper, and hiding the big scar, which I'm going to do something about because I've got that on hand ready to go. Get rid of that. Now I did notice little sucker coming up here, which is good. That means the tree's healthy and it's growing. Got new growth coming here. These are starting to bud out ever so slightly. You can just see them. The apex of the tree, the crown, got lots and lots of buds up there. But I'm going to remove this. I'm going to, let me turn it back around. I'm going to reduce the height of the tree because it's just overly too big, and I don't like the way this bit continues its straightness.